What's going on, good people? Welcome to Camille St, episode number 55. Woo, you guys, I am so excited. I'm elated. I am ecstatic. I am just feeling amazing. And I'm coming to you guys with my red wig on because we are entering the fire horse year. And it is time for us to take off. It is time for everyone who has been putting in the work, who has been listening to themselves, and who has been going after their dreams to see the fruits of their labor. So today, the episode that I will be speaking about, and I'll be titling it, Chosen. Because we hear people spread that word, say that word. I'm a 70s baby, okay? I was born in 1978. So growing up, you would hear, oh, the chosen, only 144,000 are chosen. Only 144,000 are chosen. The chosen ones, the chosen ones, the chosen ones. Well, you all, I have grown so much and I have learned so much. I've always had the gift of sight, even when I was a child, okay? I would communicate things to my parents. I would communicate. And that right there, I know is my number one superpower, the power of communication. When you are able to communicate and when you are able to speak, and then when you speak, others listen and they absorb what you're saying, then you learn your superpower. Now, I'll say this. There are way more than 144,000 that are chosen. Okay, y'all? There are more than 144,000 people that are chosen. However, I feel when they say that 144,000, I truly believe that only 144,000 people will actually walk in the light of what they have been chosen to do. And I know one thing's for sure and two things for certain. I have been chosen to speak because I have healed myself. I have been so many different types of people or types of me. I'll say that. I have been so many different types of me that while I have walked on this earth in the 47 rounds of the sun that I've been blessed to walk, I have grown exponentially. I look back on how I communicated to people when I was a child. And then I look back on how I communicated to people as I was a young adult. Then I look back on how I communicated with people. Okay, we got people on the set. Y'all hear Daphne going wild. Daphne, we are recording. My bad, y'all. That's validation. She's ready to go. But because we got Coconut in here too. They both in here again. But anyway, as a young adult, I look back on how I communicated with others. And as an adult, I also look back on how I have communicated with others. And I have learned that, my friends, is the key. The communication that you use when you talk and speak to others is a superpower. But once you learn yourself, is when you will learn how to communicate with others. Let me say it again for the people in the back. Once you learn yourself and how you communicate, then you will learn how you communicate with others. And we have got to realize that communication is the key. Yes, not all of us will see eye to eye. And some people may be unable to feel the energy and the vibe that I send with my communication style, but there are those that will. And at the end of the day, we have to focus on self, right? We've got to communicate with self properly. Because if we fail to communicate with ourselves properly, how the hell can you communicate with someone else? If you want to talk down to yourself, how can you talk up to someone else? And we have to realize that right there, my friends, makes you a chosen. Once you can see yourself, once you can walk in your own shoes by checking yourself at the front door, is when you will be able to use your gift and your superpower to check someone else. Because if you're trying to be out here telling somebody else what they should think or how they should feel, however, you still lack that communication with yourself, why would they even want to listen? Why would they even be able to feel your vibe? It's impossible. So we have got to realize that the number one thing as a chosen, because like I said in the beginning of this podcast, episode 55, chosen, we are all chosen. However, we have got to realize and figure out what we have been chosen to do. And when you do figure out and realize what you've been chosen to do, you got to walk in that light. You have got to make sure that you focus on healing yourself in that light. Because when you work on self and know that you are the best job, the best business owner, the best CEO, CFO, COO, the best human being to yourself, is when you can definitely spread the message and share it with someone else. And you guys, I wrote a poem titled Chosen. And when I finish, that's what I'm going to finish with. And I normally finish with my book, my quotes from my book. Oh, look, I dropped it. Let me pick it up. I normally finish with the quotes from my book, Get Inspired, Stay Inspired, Start Inspiring. I normally will finish with one of these quotes. But today, we are going to finish with that poem that I wrote titled Chosen. Because at the end of the day, we are all chosen. But the only reason why the chosen are few is because a lot of us don't want to do what we've been chosen to do. And the first thing that we all need to recognize and realize is that we have all been chosen to heal ourselves. Heal that inner child that's been molested. Heal that inner child that has lost a loss of a child. Heal that inner child that used to talk to themselves in such a negative way. To heal that inner child that felt like they were never going to be somebody. To heal that inner child that thinks that somebody else is better than them. And we have all got to start with self. And once we realize that, all we can do, in the words of my brother, is take off. And I'll never forget, I was down and I was 32 at that time, 14 years ago. And I was sharing with my brother what I've been going through and where I was. It was before I even wrote my book. It was before a lot of things. It was before I even healed myself. And I told my brother, I'm so lost. And he said, you aren't lost. You are an airplane. And right now, you are on the landing strip fueling yourself. And once you completely fill up that tank, you need to take off. And once you take off, you better soar. And my brother, Dennis L. Hale, I will never ever forget those words. And I have used those words in my mind to help heal me. And I do believe that those words, if they never even came or been spoken to me, who knows where I would be. Maybe this book may have never been written. Maybe my mind may have never been changed. Maybe my heart may have never been cracked wide open to see all the hurt I've been through, to realize that I can heal myself through the words I speak to myself. So, without further ado, I am going to read the poem that I wrote entitled Chosen. And I need to write it over because I'm going to show y'all a little something. It's all scratches and everything. So, let's get to it. Chosen. Many are chosen, but the chosen are few. Because most of the chosen don't want to do what they've been chosen to do. They continue to point fingers and always place blame. They lack accountability while staying exactly the same. They can only think about money, fortune, and fame, doing anything and everything just to gain. could care less about who they cause pain. Selfish and greedy. They don't want to grow because the chosen who choose it already know that when chosen and know it, you have to grow. You have to take accountability. That's exactly where it starts. The growth is happening for you. You have to crack open your heart. You have to look within and release and relearn every part because you have been chosen to repair with art. Give yourself love and continue to add water. You have to realize your worth is worth more than any amount of dollars. Your currency is within. You have more than you know. So if you think you're chosen, I challenge you to grow. You guys, get inspired. Like I said earlier, we are all chosen. It's up to you to walk in the light and choose to do what you have been chosen to do. I want to thank y'all so much for coming to Camille Street. This is episode 55, and you already know 5-5 means it's time for change. And how appropriate did episode 55 come on the day before the Fire Horse Year? I am so grateful and thankful for every one of you all who have downloaded my podcast from iHeart. I am so thankful for each and every one of you who have watched and who have subscribed to my YouTube. I am thankful for each and every one of you who have tapped that follow button on my Instagram page. And I want to let you know that I am here for you. If you need help to grow, reach out to me. We are in this together. All right. Make sure you go and follow me, like I said, on my Instagram. It's flywithme32. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Camille in the Lion's Den. Check out buzzsprout.com. It's Camille Street. It's my podcast. iHeartRadio, or it's iHeart.com/podcast. And my podcast name is Camille Street. And also, check out my inspirational products. Check out my inspirational products. Get inspired, stay inspired, start inspiring. A book of inspirational quotes is waiting for you to make your purchase. Go to clhpublishing.com today and place your order. And if you would like to donate to the cause, I would greatly appreciate y'all. I still only need $1,500 for the rent money. So if you would be so kind as to donate, the Cash App is it's Cammy321. I will have it in the video. You guys, you know you've been chosen. You know it's time to grow. Start watering yourself because you already know. Get inspired, y'all.